Kawhi is obviously a very attractive piece, but is anybody on the let's not trade for Kawhi train here? Because, I mean, when he is healthy, he's a top, 5 player, 7 player in the NBA?
I mean, that's what Boston's
3.
missing. Yeah. Boston doesn't have a guy like that. They have lots of excellent players, but I don't think anyone's really MVP caliber. So, that's intriguing, I think, from Boston's perspective. Betting markets have the Lakers as a pretty heavy favorite, something like 70% odds of going to the Lakers. Boston came in second, so I don't think we can rule out anything with Danny Ainge at the helm.
I mean, if Kawhi's on this team, they're instantly propelled to the best team in the East, and some people would pick them over the Warriors for next year's championship favorite. That being said, I really love Jaylen Brown. I love the timeline. I love that he matches up with Jason Tatum for the future, how the Celtics can kind of do 2 timelines at once and still compete for maybe 10 to 12 years. I don't know. I don't know if bringing in Kawhi is something I want.
I mean, this is kind of the situation that we're looking at, right? Because any package where you're trading for Kawhi Leonard, you got to send out either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. Most people, I think us included, agree that Jaylen Brown is probably the one that you would send given Jason Tatum's flashes. But at the same time, you're giving up 2 more years left on Jaylen Brown's rookie scale contract, and then restricted free agency where you could match any offer sheet anyone gives him. So that's a possible 7 years of control right there. 6 years, I guess, if he really wants out and wants to take the offer sheet. And to do that for 1 year of a Kawhi Leonard who could bolt at any time, I don't know. I just don't see it myself.
I think if Danny trades for Kawhi, it's kind of like a wink, wink, you got to re-sign back here sort of deal. I don't think Danny gives up anything of consequence without getting some sort of – I mean, you're not going to get concrete reassurance, but it needs some sort of reassurance that he's going to, sign back long-term.
I don't think you're getting that. I don't think you're getting. I mean, he said that he wants to go to one of the LA-based teams, preferably the Lakers, and his family has probably been steering him in that direction. They want to see him go to LA, and I don't know if you're the Celtics, if you can have the confidence that Kawhi is going to re-sign. If you got a guarantee from him, I think that would change the calculus quite a bit. But I just don't see it coming, and for that reason, I think that the Lakers are the favorite here and not the Celtics to land him.
I really think that this team might be able to win a championship just as is, and I kind of want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, before we get kind of, enchanted by maybe slamming shut a possible contention window if we trade for Kawhi Leonard and he bolts after 1 year. Like, that's the worst case scenario, And that's like, I feel like you've got to kind of stay away from that. You've earned yourself that leverage at this point with your other smart decisions.
Yeah, it doesn't really reassure me that we hear that Kawhi's circle, possibly his uncle, further caused this divide between the Spurs and Kawhi. But I don't know if the Celtics need another uncle around this team, because we already have our corny uncle, and his name is Uncle Drew. So I don't know if we need to add.
Not as corny as that joke, Jonathan. That's terrible.
I got some pity laughs.
The one big thing, like, against Kawhi here, like, my one big concern, I mean, there's obviously a health issue that we have to. The big elephant in the room is, hey, are you healthy or not? Like, what's going on here? Like, and that's like, you didn't play the entire year. What the hell happened? Like, that's the first question you have to have an answer to if you're Danny Ainge. Like, what the hell happened in 2017, 2018? You played like what, 9? Like, what was it, 4 games? Some crazy, stupid low number.
9 sounds right.
9. I don't have this. No, screw stats. I don't need. It's around 9. Whatever the stat is. But like, I have to know if he can play, 70, 66, whatever games they need him to play. Because again, if I'm trading for Kawhi Leonard, I'm giving up Jaylen Brown. He has to be able to play. And like, the whole, we're gonna walk away from $214 million. Like, that's what. Okay, that kind of like, what happened? How did the relationship get so strained to the point where you're A, not playing for a year, and B, walking away from that much money? Like, how bad is it in San Antonio? I have to know what happened. That's the only contention I think I have with this trade, is like, I have no clue what's going on in San Antonio right now. Celtics Roundtable is brought to you by Hims. Hims is a brand new wellness brand for men. Guys, how many of you out there in the internet sphere are scared of hair loss? I would guess a lot of you, considering 66% of men lose their hair by age 35. Stop procrastinating and stop turning to weird hair loss solutions and start turning to Hims. Hims is your one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men. And the best part about Hims is they connect you with real doctors to treat your hair loss with actual medical grade solutions. We're not talking about concoctions that you make at home. We are talking about prescription solutions backed by science. Just go to forhims.com right now. Sign up is really easy. Answer a few quick questions, and a doctor will be assigned to you. Products are then shipped directly to your door. You don't have to wait in line or anything. You could be in your pajamas on the couch. Let Hims come to you. And my listeners, our listeners, get a special trial month of Hims for just $5 today while supplies last. Just see website for full details. It's cost you hundreds of dollars if you went to your local pharmacy. $5 with us. Just use our promo code. Go to forhims.com/CLNS. That's forhims.com/CLNS. Evan Valenti, Sam Sheehan, Matt, and Jonathan Ignall here on a Saturday morning. Emergency Celtics Roundtable. Kawhi on the table. I think we're all in the same boat that the max you would go for Kawhi is Jaylen Brown. Nobody, I think, in this group is throwing Jason Tatum on the table, right? I think we're all out on that.
Well, what about Gordon Hayward? Is there a scenario where Gordon Hayward is the guy that's moved?
The cruelest timeline ever. Yeah.
Trader Danny.
I mean, well,
what a nightmare that would be, I think, for a while.
Last year I would have said absolutely not, but then we just saw the most cold trade of all time with Isaiah Thomas. And I mean, it was the right trade for the Celtics, but we've also seen what happened to Isaiah Thomas's career, after that trade. And I think the difference here is that Gordon literally hasn't played. He was a free agent signing. He wasn't traded for the way that Isaiah Thomas was. He signed the contract here in Boston versus Isaiah Thomas, was inherited from, the Phoenix Suns. And I also think that there's something to be said for Brad Stevens, kind of being his guy when they went out and got him and made these promises. And I think that that's the absolute one thing you cannot afford to encroach is the trust of Brad Stevens. He's one of the most important assets of the Boston Celtics. And I think that, burning a Brad Stevens bridge would be disastrous.
I mean, I don't think it's super likely, but as far as individual teams, you could see him going to number 1 Lakers. I think the Celtics are the number 2 spot. Bless you, Sam. I think the Celtics are the number 2 spot, right? I mean, there's the Sixers, Philly, but Philly's offer, the Celtics will be able to beat any offer, and I think the Lakers too would beat that Philly offer.
I think Philly could make a pretty compelling offer, actually. I think that you could do Fultz, you could do whoever your guy is that you've got, coming in. Saric is a very good young player.
I don't think Pop wants to ride off into the sunset of his career with the Markelle Fultz experience.
But does he, I was going to say, yeah. But then also the Lonzo Ball experience.
I'm so rooting for that, by the way.
But it's not just Lonzo. It's now Lonzo, LeVar, LiAngelo, and then in a couple of years, LaMelo. You have the whole family.
That's going to be amazing. Actually, the Balls will force Popovich to retire. That's going to be the story.
I will say this about Danny making the trade. I'm always wrong about this stuff because I'm always thinking about this with my heart more than my head, as much as I want to divorce myself from the cold. And that's how I got the Isaiah Thomas thing wrong. And I will say that consistently throughout his career, Danny Ainge's primary MO has been he will always take more star power, even if it's under a shorter amount of time or it's riskier or whatever the case may be. He's consistently done that over and over and over again. And I would not write this off.
So for Celtics Roundtable, Sam Sheehan, the Ignalls, Matt and Jonathan, and Evan Valenti. We'll come back probably with a little bit more, at least better analysis in terms of numbers, actually how this stuff is going to work out. Sam did a great job kind of figuring out on the fly. We might come back with more analysis and might bring back a guest or two to talk more about Kawhi to the Celtics because we all know this story is not going to go away. So with that, you guys enjoy your Father's Day weekend. For the guys from the Roundtable, I'm Evan Valenti. We'll see you guys next time here on CLNS Media.